Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This afternoon, we're going to have a class activity, which is a class debate. And the topic is teaching sex education in school. Is it to be taught or not to be taught? Now, formally start with our debate. Let me first introduce to you our moderator, Christine Kyle Hassan.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we were having a debate about teaching sex education in school. Is it to be taught or not to be taught in school? Sex education broadly defined any instruction in the process and consequences of sexual activity, ordinarily given to children and adolescents. Today, the term usually refers to classroom lessons about sex taught in primary and secondary schools. Who are in favor with sex education should be taught in school, and who are not in favor of teaching sex education in school? Before we start with our debate, let me introduce to you the panel of judges. Our first judge is a Teacher 1 teaching Araling Palipunan and English. She is our watch coordinator in school. Please welcome Mrs. Michelle C. Eliared. The next judge is a Teacher 1 Filipino and English Grade 6 teacher and Grade 6 chairman. Please welcome Mrs. Nurjana A. Mustafa. And the third judge is a Master Teacher 2, a Science Grade 6 teacher, and a Science mentor. Please welcome Mrs. Marlene D. Acosta. And our last judge is an active, workaholic, and supportive principal of Zamboanga Central School's Ped Center. No other than but Dr. Edsel R. Francisco. Before we formally start, let me state the rules in the debate. Speakers, you should listen to the questions very well. When you speak, say it clearly so that everybody can understand. Do not use bad words and no pointing fingers during the rebuttal. Each speaker has given 1 minute to speak during the rebuttal and 10 seconds waiting time for the answer. Let me read to you the rubrics for judging the debate. Class debate rubric. The first category is the respect for other team. You will get all 5 if all statements, body language, and responses were respectful and were in appropriate language. The next category is information. You will get all 5 if all information presented in this debate was clear, accurate, and thorough. The third category is rebuttal. You will get all 5 if all counter-arguments were accurate, relevant, and strong. The fourth category is use of facts or statistics. You will get all 5 if every major point was well supported with several relevant facts, statistics, and/or examples. The fifth category is organization. You will get all 5 if all arguments were clearly tied to an idea and organized in a tight, logical fashion. The sixth category is to understand of topic, after understanding the topic. You will get all 5 if the team clearly understood the topic in depth and presented their information forcefully and convincingly. And the seventh category is presentation style. You will get all 5 if the team consistently used gestures, eye contact, tone of voice, and a level of enthusiasm in a way that kept the attention of the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin with our debate about teaching sex education in school. To be or not to be. On my right side are the speakers of proposition team. They agreed that sex education should be taught in school, while on my left side are the speakers of the opposition team, and they believe that sex education should not be taught in school. In proposition team, the first speaker is Ana May Daong, the captain of the team. Speaker number 2 is Maria Helena A. Paltinca. Speaker number 3 is Kyla Montojo. Speaker number 4 is Judy Lynn Jugnail. And the last speaker is Dean Marley Acalan. In the opposition team, the first speaker is Harchedi Mofrigani, the captain of the team. Speaker number 2 is Ethan Wayne Cashon. Speaker number 3 is Fatima Shatskain R. Lulu. Speaker number 4 is Ferdimar Juan. And the last speaker is Fraser John Martinez. Now, we would like to hear the stance of each speaker of the team, whether the sex education should be taught in school or not. Let's begin with the proposition team, which they agreed that sex education should be taught in school. May I call in the first speaker, Ana May Daong.
Good afternoon, everyone. For us, sex education should really be taught in school for the youths to reject sexual advances as of their young age.
The second speaker is Maria Helena A. Paltinca.
Sex education should be taught in schools to educate young people that they should not engage in sexual activities because it will lead them to teenage pregnancy.
The third speaker is Kyla Montojo.
We need to teach sex education to young students because there are websites with sexual news that are so bold for the youth.
The fourth speaker is Judy Lynn Jugnail.
Sex education should be taught in school so that we can avoid sexually transmitted diseases.
And the last speaker is Dean Marley Acalan.
Sex education should be taught in school so that female young youth will avoid the early sex even if they don't want to.
Now, let's hear also from the opposition team about their stance on sex education should not be taught in school. Let's begin with the first speaker, Harchedi Mufrigani.
For my team, sex education shouldn't be taught because the curiosity and interest of youth or minors like us will grow. It may lead them to do unexpected activities.
The second speaker is Ethan Wayne Cashon.
I believe that sex education shouldn't be taught at school because it will only lead to untimely sex. This has been a problem for parents that their children will start exploring sex at a very young age.
The third speaker is Fatima Shatskain Lulu.
For me, sex education should not be taught because it may contradict their beliefs and morals.
The fourth speaker is Ferdimar Juan.
Sex education is not legal for a minor or young age.
And the last speaker is Fraser John Martinez.
Sex education should not be taught because it will only cause embarrassment.
Thank you, speakers. Now, it's time to rebut. The speaker number 1 of proposition team will rebut with the speaker number 1 of opposition team. And then, the speaker number 1 of opposition team will rebut the speaker number 1 of the proposition team. And followed by the speakers 2, 3, 4, and 5 of each team. And now, the time has come, let's begin the rebuttal. Let's start with the proposition team, the so-called tubes.
For me, I disagree for her statement because ang sexual education di dapat maturo sa kabataan sa school kasi nga dapat ang mga magulang ang magturo nito para hindi it will not para mas clear sa bata. So, parang, kunyari, kulang sa skill ang teacher. Baka ma-misunderstood ng mga bata na siguro, parang ganun. Dapat ang magulang na lang. Hindi natin ma-blame ang mga teachers kung kulang sila sa skills. Actually, bago nila ituro yun sa mga kabataan, dadaan din nila sa own training nila para mas mapaigi pa yung pagtuturo nila. Kasi kung sa bahay, hindi naman natin ma-assure na yung mga parents ay kayang ituro to sa mga bata sa tamang paraan. It's better for teachers to teach sex education to us than the parents.
Gaya nga nung sabi ko kanina, dapat i-implement yung sex education para maturuan ng mga kabataan para hindi sila ma-engage sa sexual activities, para hindi sila mabuntis ng maaga. Kasi pag nabuntis na ng maaga, magdadagdagan yung responsibilidad nila kasi magiging tatay or nanay na sila na makaka-istorbo sa kanilang pag-aaral. Mas maganda na ituro yun para maiwasan yung teenage pregnancy.
While sex education has been implemented in other countries, I believe that sex education shouldn't be implemented in our country. According to the latest report on the implementation of the RH law, the DepEd hasn't yet developed the minimum standards of CSE or comprehensive sexual education that schools should comply.
Mas nakakabuti na magturo sa paaralan para habang bata pa yung mga estudyante, matututo na sila para paglaki nila, hindi na sila hindi na sila maiilang. Parang matuto na sila, para hindi na sila maging kapatid.
It is not legal to teach a minor sex education, and sometimes, most of the time, teachers are not adequately trained. Nowadays, there are websites like Facebook, Instagram, and more that are bringing sexual activities news that are so bold. And we are free whether you are interested to open it or not. You are free. That's why we have to implement sex education to students, to teach them what's right. I disagree to your statement because dahil kapag nag-open ka ng Facebook or Instagram and other applications, kailangan mo ng guide ng parent mo kahit wala sila. Yung sinasabi niyang sex education, itinuturo lang dapat yan sa adults because it is legal for them. At saka, kasi
Kasi ang adults, alam nila kung ano ang tama at kung ano ang mali. That's all.
Kaya nga, kasi nga, kaya kailangan natin ituro ang sex education sa mga bata kasi while they're growing, they are learning.
Kaya naman sinabi ni Ethan, hindi po legal yung pagtuturo sa mga bata dahil bata pa po sila.
Hindi naman ibig sabihin na sinabi ng ano na hindi legal. Hindi ibig sabihin na hindi sila pwede matutong mag-educate ng sex education sa mga young students. I believe na kailangan nating i-educate ang mga young students para while they're growing, they are learning yung ano ang tama. Ano ang tama, what is the right time.
Pwede nyo naman hitayin yung pagdating.
But teachers are not always adequately trained to teach sexual education to students. It may violate their own beliefs or morals on the subject rather than continuing with the facts.
Di naman pwede magturo ang teacher pag hindi pa siya trained, di ba? Dapat isip, di ba trained na siya? Bago siya magturo, dapat trained siya. Mas mabuti na yung teacher yung magtuturo sa bata para mas maintindihan. Para pagdating sa bahay, pwede din ma-share sa parents siya. Tapos magsasalita din yung parents niya about sa kung ano nang natutunan ng bata.
Then give me an example of a program that trains teachers sex education. Hindi pa siya na-implement, kaya starting pa lang na tinatrain pa lang yung mga teachers na naka-assign para magturo. Kaya hindi pa namin kayo mabibigyan ng evidence na itatrain talaga na yung mga teachers na train na. Kasi nga, ito pa ang pinaglalaban pa lang natin, pero surely naman yan na bago magturo ang teacher sa atin, itatrain din muna sila ng mas nakakaalam. But what if the teacher doesn't like the topic? Yung government, mag-choose sila ng mga teachers na gusto yung topic na in favor dyan. Alangan naman, magtuturo yung mga teachers ng sex education sa mga kabataan kahit hindi naman nila gusto. We need to teach sex education, especially the youth or as young students, because sexually transmitted diseases are spreading all over the world, like HIV and AIDS. These diseases can damage an individual and they may lead to death, so sex education should be implemented in schools so that the youth will be aware about the sex matters, especially the diseases of it when people may engage to the kind of sexual intercourse.
I disagree to your statement. The sex education is influencing the student to get sex, and for us, the sex education is a bad influence to students.
Sex education will not encourage youth to be engaged in sexual activities. In fact, it includes focus on values, decision-making, biology, emotions, gender identity, and sexual feelings.
But most schools schools only teach it as a brief interlude in physical education or health class. This is not enough time to relate effectively to serious material.
Sex education should be taught in school. Kasi most of the time, ang mga young females youth natin ay naaabuso na ng mga male na may katulingan ng utak. May example niyan. May classmate ako pero hindi ko papangalanan. Siya ay isang teenage, pero madalas siyang nawawala. At karamihan sa mga sinasabi tungkol dito ay siya ay sumasama sa mga lalaking naglalagala.
Pwede naman hindi yun mangyari kung i-expose yung mga bata sa ibang activities sa school. Tulad ng mga activity sports, camping, at saka, that's all.
Pero kung yun ang nakasanayan niya, yun na talaga yung buhay na yung parang nasasanay na siya. Paano mo pa siya may implement na maghahanap ng bagong activities?
Nagbabago naman din yung tao, hindi naman siya palaging gano'n. Nagbabago din siya.
Accordingly, people don't change.
Sino nagsabi?
According sa line ni Anne Curtis sa The Gifted.
Pero sa pelikula lang yun.
According rin to the third tense, change is coming. Pero hindi sa people, sa bansa, sa pag-attitude ng bansa, hindi sa people.
Bakit yung tao hindi ba kasama sa bansa? 'Di ba? Ano din 'yon? Yaman tao ng bansa.
Bakit tao ba ang bansa? Tanungin ko sa inyo, tao ba ang bansa? Paano naging tao ang bansa? Duterte said change is coming, but he did not refer to anyone or anything, so indefinite pronouns. Hindi lahat ng tao nakakapag-apply ng change sa personality nila. Hindi lahat nagbabago. Hindi nila kaya. Yung iba, kung ano nakasanayan nila, yun na hanggang pagkamatay nila. There was just a young, but we need to teach them how to be aware and to be open-minded about sex matters. Often, sexual education can go against moral or religious beliefs of an individual. Many schools do not teach abstinence only, but to teach how to have sex safely, while many of the religions and family stress marriage before intercourse.
Kaya ang problem.
I want solid evidence based on your statement. Example, si girl, hindi mo pa naturuan. Yung iba kasi sa mga kabataan ngayon, di pa yan alam. Tapos, kahit hindi naman alam, iko-connect ko lang sa kasama ko ha. Yung mga YouTube, mga website, paminsan nakaka-apekto yan. Dahil napapanood nila, magiging curious sila. Tapos gagawin nila yun. Kaya mangyayari, magkaka-teenage pregnancy. Kaya dapat natin turuan para matuto silang i-reject yung mga sexual advances kasi nga, bata pa. Tapos, ang tanong ko lang, kung para sa ikabubuti na nila yun, hindi mo pa rin ba, di ka pa rin ba mag-a-agree na i-implement na lang ang sex education sa mga schools?
Kaya nga sa YouTube, may YouTube account. Kasi nga, kailangan may age, yung age provided sa pinapanood nila. Paminsan, yung mga yung age provided, yung accounts natin, pwede i-change yung date of birth. Tapos, hindi naman yun i-check kasi hindi na i-check yung mga profile. Kaya, public siya, nakikita pa rin ng mga kabataan. But, students may still be subject to embarrassment or excitable by subject matter. This can make for out of control classrooms if students take to laugh or make inappropriate comments. To avoid embarrassment, kailangan nga i-implement yung sex education para yung ibang kabataan, di ba, yung isa, yung isa, naka-experience na siya. Tapos yung mga classmates niya, para ite-teach mo na yung sex education, para maging open-minded na sila, para ma-avoid na yung mga embarrassment na yan, para hindi na rin mauulit sa iba yung nangyari sa isang bata na naka-experience na ng ganong activity. The attitudes of parents, educators, and religious leaders in a community can make the stuff that vary from state to state or even school to school. It might be happen kung ikaw ay chismoso o chismosa. I want research based on your opinion. Ang mga chismosa hindi nag-research kaya wala kang makukuhang evidence. So you're stating that Dean Marley is chismoso. Kaya nga, dapat avoid natin yung ganyan kasi yung iba, di ba, sabi niyo embarrassment. Kaya nga iti-teach para ma-avoid yung embarrassment. Tapos yung iba, hindi na rin mag-chismis tungkol sa sex education na yan, sa mga sexual activities na yan. But sometimes, long or overly complex answers or discussions can be exhausting to the child, and failing to listen or answer a child's questions can leave her with an inadequate education. Kung tapos, parents, you ask your parents and they cannot answer, well, if the teachers will teach the youth about these kinds of matters, then they will know the answer. They will be open. They will learn
will have knowledge and they will avoid negative impacts of this matter. In citations of research shows that 1 in 10 young Filipino women aged 15 to 19 has begun childbearing. 8% are already mothers and another 2% are pregnant with their first child. In addition, overeducation can teach children more than necessary information they need for their age. But according to DOH Secretary Rosel Jean Ubial, teenage pregnancy do not really increase. In fact, it gets lower because sex education in other parts of our country has already been implemented.
Thank you, speakers. You've given us more insights about this topic. Now, let's hear from the observers to which they prefer. May I call in Francine Tan to give us... For me, I want to learn this sex education in school. It should be happen in school to care ourselves how to avoid sexual activities. Katulad nating mga kabataan, dapat tayong matuto para umiwas sa mga sexual activities. Kasi kapag hindi natin to alam, baka ngayon buntis na tayo or teenager pregnancy. Kasi hindi ito mangyayari tayo mga kabataan. Kasi kapag hindi ito mangyayari, tayong mga kabataan ay gustong makipag-sex o mag-sexual activities. At ayaw ba natin itong mangyayari para makatuto tayo sa mga sexual activities? This sex education ay nakakatulong ito sa ating buhay para malaman natin paano pangalagaan ang ating sarili. Kaya bang mga kabataan, bakit ayaw niyong mangyayari ito? Sa iba para ayaw niyo matuto to, parang gusto niya lang makipag-sex. Katulad sa iba dyan, at parang di niyo na naalagaan ang sarili niyo. At nakakasama rin ito sa mundo natin kasi dumadagdag ang population at ang ating kagustugan sa maagang pagbubuntis. So for the other youth na ayaw ang teaching sex education in school, you will realize that teaching sex education in school is better for us. Kung gusto niyong makipag-sex, huwag yung teenager na tayo. Kasi may maganda pa tayong kinabukasan. Dapat sa tamang oras at tamang gulang tayo mag-sex. Thank you. Isa po akong server ay si Marian Luis Arian. Thank you, because from what they say, I want to learn more like HIV and pregnancy, to avoid sex in minor ages, to know what we will do in the future, and if it's safe to do. At kaya important ng social media, YouTube, Instagram, at ibang pang apps para mas matuto pa tayo sa sex education. At may isa pa akong tatawagin na observer, si Josefina Perez. I choose to be because it is important to our environment to learn about sex education. Thank you. Thank you, observers. You gave us an additional ideas about this topic. Now, let me call in our facilitator, Mrs. Rona May L. Ramirez, our science subject teacher.
So, based sa position namin tatlo, so meron lang mga points na dapat ninyong tandaan in the near future debates ninyo sa when you do the rebuttal, make sure na kaya niyong sagutin yung makinig talaga sa sinasabi niya. Then, habang nagsasalita pa siya, may na-trigger ka na doon na points na kailangan mong ano. Sa mind pa lang, habang nagsasalita, mag-create ka na ng question na ibato mo sa kanya para hindi ka mabara. Tapos, iba na naman yung tatanong niyo, hindi pa tapos yung kasagot niya. So, kulang doon. Then, saan pa ma'am? Usually sa rebuttal, organization ng ideas. Magulo. Ha? O, kasi ma'am.
Okay. In presenting your ideas, they base their ideas more on facts, while you more on opinion. You lack facts. You do not explain or justify your answers. Hindi nyo ini-justify. Hindi nyo sinasabi kung bakit or ano ang rason nyo na yun ang idea nyo. So, it will just be an opinion.
Pag hindi nyo kasi ibato sa kanila yung ano nila, sinabi nila, so, kayo kasi sila nag-question. So, bigay niya statement. And also, yung kulang sa statistics.
Diba, Anya May? Parang editorial writing din yan. O, perfect ka doon sa inyong lahat. Kasi sanay ka. However, ang mga kasama mo, hindi mo trinain. Sanay ka man sana.
And kasama yung attitude sa pagbato ng salita. And with your gesture, walang taas kilay. Diba sinabi na yung bawal? Pointing, sarcasm. Yung ganyan, no?
Katulad ng ginawa ni Kayla.
Kayla.
May points na yung Kayla, pero may
Sikon na kasi yun. Pero okay lang.
next time,
Next
para
time,
mga
at least alam niya na.
high school palagi kayo mag-debate.
Ikan, maganda yung ano mo.
Kaya lang
At saka kasi grabe siguro, intense talaga yung ano niya, emotion niya. Sumagot. Si Martinez ba? O, maganda rin. Simple lang, pero malaman. Titik. Score ma'am. Okay, so score kay judge number 3, panalo. Opposition. Ilang point, ha? So, judge number 2, opposition. And of course, judge number 1, opposition. Unanimous yan decision.
Yun lang ang pagkakamali niyo. Parang si Anna May lang.
Oo,
Hindi
nagkakala.
na-train kasi niyo. Oo, i-train mo sa ano, sanay kasi Victoria. Always talaga.
Panalo pa rin kayo kasi nagsalita kayo eh.
Pero okay.
Maganda. So, congratulations sa inyo lahat.
You stood up at the end.
Sa last na.
Sila sa beginning, kayo sa end. Kaya lang, natalo pa rin. Okay lang.
Okay lang.
Ano ito? Lesson na ito sa inyo. Experience.
Okay, that was the post-evaluation of our panel of judges. And thank you for your presence. And thank you also for our observers and to our speakers. So that's end our debate. Good afternoon.